День добрый, добро пожаловать, с вами я, Хаг, и вы смотрите YouTube-канал Let's Play по-русски. И сегодня очень необычное видео, в котором мы поговорим с разработчиком игрушки Kenshi, с Кристофером. Christopher, say hello to everyone.
Всем привет.
Класс, мне нравится, и у него очень хорошо получается. Итак, я сейчас очень быстренько объясню, как это будет проходить. Мы, конечно же, будем говорить по-английски, но у вас будет русский подстрочник, и в конце видео я еще объявлю конкурс. Но все это будет идти на английском, и мы сейчас сделаем небольшую паузу и начнем еще раз видео, но на английском для английских зрителей. Okay, Chris, so we will start the English part of the intro. Hello and welcome everyone to the interview with the developer, Chris, the developer of the game Kenshi. Chris, hi.
Hi.
Okay, great having you here in our virtual studio. And let's start with something very, very simple. Could you explain and describe what Kenshi is and what is it all about?
Well, it's a free-roaming RPG, but it's also kind of spliced together with an RTS. It's kind of a bit of everything, really. I didn't really have any set category that I aimed for. You have a team of characters who you basically roam around pursuing whatever career or avenue that you want.
Mm-hmm. And in what kind of world is it set in?
Well, it's that again, I can't explain. It's just made up,
Well,
you know?
Try.
It's kind of samurai influence, a bit of post-apocalyptic Mad Max kind of style. I just kind of combined bits and pieces of everything I find cool, basically, to try and make something unique.
This is the best salad, so just put all the cool stuff into it. But
yeah.
Is it the post-apocalypse of our world, or is it just the overall feeling and the vibe of the game?
No, it's not set on our world. It's just something unique.
Okay, great. So after having explained the game, we'll go and talk a little bit about you. And I'm pretty sure that you will be someday a huge one-man developer and a role model to everyone who wants to start on their own. Could you tell us what does one have to know and to do to just get into something like developing your own game?
Well, really, you need to be a programmer, I think. I mean, if you're an artist, you can develop a game, but you'll need a programmer with you. So, I mean, if you want to make your own game, your own invention, you really need to be a programmer.
Okay, and something specific or just a programmer?
No, there's no specific right or wrong way of doing it. I mean, it's best to start with something simpler, like a scripting language-based thing. Mm-hmm. You really need to find an engine. That's the main thing, is choosing
What are
engine.
you basing Kenshi on? So
it's the Ogre rendering engine. So a lot of it I have to piece together myself, because Ogre's just a renderer, but it would have been a lot easier if I had a pre-made engine. Like if I started now, I could have used like the Crytek engine or something and had a nice head start there, but I started it like 6-7 years ago, so back then Ogre was the best.
Wow. How did you take to, let's say, to the first build that was playable and was showable?
What do you mean exactly?
So you started off with an idea and you started writing it down and then programming, and then one day Kenshi came out as a, let's say, very extremely early version of the game. So how long did it take for you to come from the very beginning to the first version, playable version?
I don't actually remember. It's so long ago.
Okay,
it was 3 or 4 houses ago, so...
Okay, let me rephrase. How long have you been programming already on this version that is playable and workable?
That's 6 or 7 years.
Wow.
Like I said.
That's a whopper.
Before that, I've when I was like still learning and starting out, I've had about 2 different failed startup games.
Ah, okay. Okay, but it is a very, very long time. Did your vision of what should Kenshi be change since then?
Yeah, it has actually. I mean, it was originally designed as focusing around gun combat.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be a bit more of a Western feel to it, but I ended up going with sword combat in the end because I wanted more of a stronghold type feel to it, more defending your bases from the walls, things like that. I like defensive strategies, so that's what I've always loved, the stronghold games and Total Annihilation, because they kind of allow for that strategy. A lot of games like Command and Conquer and some other ones, they actually actively are designed to stop you from playing a defensive playstyle.
Yeah.
So they make turrets rubbish or restrict the number of turrets you can build and focus you on the rush technique or things like that. I'm trying to fill that void a bit.
Yeah, so you can entrench yourself in your base and feel safe and cozy. But you've been talking about the Western style. Do you want to put some ranged weapons into the game? I'm not talking about fire weapons, but maybe crossbows or bows.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I fully intend to do that. It's just a matter of getting around to it.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty vital, really, to base defense, because the new update, I've added walls and gates now, but you can't actually fend anyone off yet unless you actually open up the gates and go out and stab them. So, in the future, you'll be able to line up along the walls with crossbows and turrets and things like that and hold off more.
So, so the new update, just tell us, what are you putting into it? What will be there?
Well, it's adding all the foundations for building your base now. So you've now got mining, farming, and basically all the basic production and research going on.
Okay.
So the only thing I've missed that is coming in the future updates would be actual crafting of weapons and armor and further technology levels, things like that.
And will it be a sort of a research-based thing where you can combine all the stuff you have and find something useful, or will it be just set in stone and you can, let's say, have blueprints or buy blueprints? How will it be?
That's kind of like XCOM. If you've played that, the research system, you have a bunch of preset technologies that you can research in, kind of like a tree. So
so you're
each
just
one
climbing it.
Yeah, but it unlocks different paths, so you can avoid paths you're not interested in or specialize in one path. That would be the idea.
Okay. I've seen you've written on your page that with this update the price will be rising. What will be the price of this updated version?
I've forgotten what I wrote now. It's going up by about 50%. So it'll be around,
so $15.
I think it's $15 or $16. Slightly less on my side.
Do you have a vision of what the game will cost when it's ready? It's monumentally and really, really polished and ready.
Well, when I started out, I've always intended that it would eventually be a full price game, £30.
Yeah.
And whatever that is in dollars, 40 or
yeah,
so,
it's normally like 40,
but
50. Yeah.
The industry's changed a bit since then. Games are a lot cheaper, so I don't think that would be the right thing to do anymore. I think the final game would be around £20-25 at the most on release.
Okay, but it is still good to pre-purchase and to support you right now.
Yeah, and you save money
wink,
that way
wink.
too.
Yeah, okay. And you have been greenlit, so you just made it out of that cesspool of greenlight games.
Yeah.
Yeah, how was it? Can you tell us something about this greenlight process? Because it's rather new and nobody really knows the inner workings and all that stuff.
No, I don't know the inner workings either, but it went well for me. I was I was in the first batch.
Yeah.
So I'd pretty much just put my game up and it just skyrocketed to popularity there all by itself, and I probably benefited the most out of anyone from the Greenlight business.
Will you, or when do you want to put it up on Steam?
Well, when it's finished, or maybe like a month or two before, as a pre-order thing. But
the really finished product.
Yeah, so at least a year.
Yeah,
maybe two.
It is the right way to go. And is there some difference, because you can buy or pre-purchase your game at your homepage, then Gamersgate, Desura, too?
Yeah.
Or no? Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there some difference between the stuff you can get at Desura Gamersgate and you will get at with Steam purchase?
No, it's all the same. No matter where you buy, it's always the one same package you get.
Okay.
If you buy now, even when it's finished, you still get the full version and everything. Only difference is price.
Yeah, me myself, I've got it in a Gamersgate bundle, the Fort bundle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's early in the year.
Okay, but you can try the game right now, can't you?
Yeah, there's well, it's an unlockable demo, so if you download it now for free, you get most of the game, but with some restrictions.
What are the restrictions?
You're only allowed 2 characters, and the skills are limited to about level 20, so once you hit level 20, you can't really improve anymore, and you have to buy the game to really go any further with it.
Okay, so let's talk about something in the future. So what do you imagine that will be there? Do you plan to put in some sort of a multiplayer or co-op experience?
No, unfortunately. I know co-op would be fun, but it would need a pretty major restructuring of the game, so it has to be designed for that from the start, really, and it's not a major part of the design of Kenshi, so.
But the game can be modded.
It can be modded, yeah, but not for multiplayer, if that's what you're asking.
So it will be a very long way to mod it into a multiplayable thing, yeah?
Yeah, I'd say impossible.
Okay. Oh, woo me. No playing Kenshi with friends.
No, afraid not.
Okay. So you said, so there are levels, there are trees, but the game is, as you told yourself, open-ended.
Yeah.
What is, okay, the end game is a silly word for an open-ended game, but what is, let's say, there to do for experienced players who have built their city, who have fought their fights and are now very good, well trained? So what will be there for them to do?
That's something I'm constantly thinking about, because I've always found the most fun part of games is when you're first starting out and you're struggling for survival and everyone's attacking you and tearing you apart. I've always loved that part of the game. Once you find yourself settled in and secure and safe, then it starts losing its fun. So the idea is that you have more different areas and levels to the game, so you may have secured yourself nicely in one area, but there's still other places to explore. So once you got yourself all nice and safe, you can start thinking about sending out adventure parties to other parts of the world, or aggravating other factions, or other factions may come to you, start causing trouble. And so my ultimate goal is to tune it so that every time you kind of conquer one thing, something else sort of comes along, or if nothing else comes along, there's something else for you to choose to do or go hunting for.
Okay, so it's sort of a natural process. As soon as you understand the world gets harder and more complex.
Yeah, I mean, as you get bigger, the bigger factions start to notice you more. And on top of that, there's more dangerous map areas in the far corners of the world, like legendary areas where no one ventures, no one returns from. And these areas will also have different resources and things that you need to progress your research any further.
Okay,
So
okay.
if you want to unlock certain research paths, you'll have to send a party out into these different areas and start making outposts somewhere, things like that.
Mm-hmm. So the piece of the map one can play right now, is it the end world, or will you be expanding it?
No, there's one of the upcoming updates is going to completely change the map. Well,
Ah,
not change it, but that area will still be in it, mostly intact, but there'll be a lot more to it. It will be a lot bigger. There'll be more different areas, different foliage, different zones, that sort of thing. So it's going to be about 4 times the size.
wow.
And
Yeah, cool. I am looking forward to it. That sounds great. And you said you actually mentioned XCOM, but right now in the fighting, so for me XCOM is just this turn-based fighting. The fighting in Kenshi is real time, but you can pause. Yes?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But right now you can only tell your guys to block. So pro- I draw attention of the enemies to the blocking guys and let
Yeah.
the other guys hack on them. It never works, but I'm still trying. Will you be just putting more into the fighting mechanics?
Yeah, I definitely want to make a little more involvement in there somewhere. I don't want it to be too something you have to micromanage or anything like that, but I'd like to add a bit more strategy and tactics
Okay.
in there somehow. I think a lot of it will be down to I'm going to add a bit more control in terms of the AI.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets to a certain point where you've got some guy crawling around who needs help, and you have to try and get him out, or do an extraction, pick him up, run off with him, have other characters hold off the enemy while you run and get back to a turret emplacement or something to cover you. And I'm definitely thinking about the tactics,
Okay.
ways to
Um,
improve it.
but let's say if you die, you die in the game. Isn't it like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's hardcore. And
yeah, but it's harder to die in
okay.
a sense, 'cause as long as you've got medics around, and someone who can still move, then your chances of dying in a battle are a lot lower than regular games, where once you're down, you're dead.
Okay, but if you run naked into a fight 1 to 10, you will be punished.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Will be okay. We mentioned ranged weapons. We mentioned swords. Will be there something else?
Um, yeah, I'm thinking about it. It depends what I can get the animations for, really.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to add, well, I'm definitely adding unarmed combat,
Uh-huh. So
and I'd like to maybe add things like knives and staffs, spears, but that would depend on the animations.
um you do, I just presume that you do not have a motion capturing team, so you have to work the animations like
No, I've seen there's one animation company that does motion capture for cheap, so I'm gonna
okay.
inquire there at a later date. I've also got you can get motion capture software now that works with Microsoft Connect,
Mm-hmm.
so I could always look at trying out that and doing my own motion capture, but I'll try this company first. Probably.
Please capture the making of the motion capture. That would be
Okay.
funny. That would be pretty funny. So there is fighting, there is building. I think there could be trading, but let's say for me, there is a trader's pack. You could put in a lot of trading goods into and travel from one city to another, but it's sort of cumbersome for
Yeah.
a couple of guys to go around. Will there be some sort of vehicles, carts, or beasts of burden?
Beasts of burden, I definitely intend to add something equivalent of mules, things like that. Yeah, I definitely intend to add that.
Alien donkeys.
Yeah.
It's cool. Let me look at my list of tricky and nasty questions. Oh yes. How much do you think you will be still adding? Or let me rephrase: how finished is Kenshi in your opinion?
It's not finished at all right now. There's so much missing.
Percentages, please. People love numbers. People love certainty.
Well, in terms of time for me to finish it, I'd
Uh-huh.
say it's probably 70-80% done. But in terms of being feature complete, actual
Uh-huh.
gameplay features that people can tell is probably around 50%.
So let's say all the codings things you already know. You've done it, but all the features and all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's
still
getting
to be
into the
added.
fun stuff now. I mean, most of those 6-7 years I spent was on fundamentals, the underlying things that people don't really notice in a finished game but are essential.
Okay.
Pathfinding and the AI engine and the streaming seamless worlds make everything very complicated. So that's been a lot of work too.
So, okay, we've talked about, big stuff like building cities. What will be there to build up your character? So, because, I've read that you do not really concentrate on your first character or on any character because you are managing a big group in the end. But
Yeah.
will be there some option to really customize a hero, to make a hero a very, very big guy who will be known throughout the lands of Kenshi?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, the whole point of not forcing focus on any one character is to allow the player to choose what they do. So, if you make a favorite character and want to plow all your technology and experience into him and getting him good, then yeah, that'll completely be allowed. There'll be a lot of customization too that I'm working on at the moment.
But you will not allow to be him like godlike. There will be challenges for him.
Yeah, I mean, he could get almost godlike, but he'll have to work for it.
Well, again, open-ended game, but let's say how much gameplay, let's say raw gameplay will be there in the finished product?
Well,
In
as much as I
hours.
can.
In days, in month.
Well, I'd like to ideally get it to the state of being one of those games you can play for months and get totally addicted to for ages.
Okay, so
I mean, I'm working to make it as inexhaustible as possible with the amount of options you can do and ways of playing, things to pursue, things like that.
okay, so the game that breaks up families and
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
you fail your
Yeah, that's exactly what I
everything.
want to make.
Perfect, yeah.
I mean, I can't guarantee I'll achieve that, but it's what I'm aiming for.
Well, being an evil genius, it's a good goal in life.
It is,
yeah. Okay, so I'm again back to my nasty little questions. Are you working on something else besides Kenshi?
What, game-wise?
Yeah.
No. No, it's impossible. The amount of time
so
it
you
takes.
just-
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean, working
but-
on it single-handed, I'm basically doing what a whole team should be doing, so
Yeah.
I can't afford to spend time on anything else.
Well, you
Other
save
than-
up time on complaining with someone about anything, so it's perfect actually. But let's say you finish Kenshi, in that perfect world where you already have finished Kenshi and it's just a success. What would you like to do game-wise?
Yeah, I've got a couple of other game designs lined up, actually.
Tell.
A couple would build on the existing systems of Kenshi, so I could take that a lot further in different directions. And at the end of it, there's my grand ambition game, which is top secret.
Wow.
But yeah, all my future designs are secret at the moment.
They always are.
Yeah, but I've got a list. I got a couple of games I got to make before I die.
Oh,
Kenshi's the first.
Oh, that one, everyone has paid for it, so you have to. You are not allowed to die before you finish Kenshi, or you would be breaking contract. So
That's
that you
okay.
know.
I don't intend.
Great. But let's say hypothetically, Would you take on more people to work on your secret magical project, or would you just keep on working as a one-man team?
Well, I would if I had the money. It all depends on the money I make. So, I
Okay.
mean, ideally, I'd have a small team.
Uh, I know the money questions are always uncomfortable and not nice to ask, but let's say, are you struggling? Are you struggling, or is
No, no.
there a silver lining to it, to your work, of you
No, I'm not
being
struggling at all, no.
okay? So
Since the green light thing,
okay,
my income, like, multiplied by, like, 30. So...
don't get too cocky. better
No, it
better
was-
play it. No,
sales-
no.
The sales were good at the beginning of the year, and then they
Mhm.
started, slowly fading down a bit until it was getting just barely enough to pay myself. And then the green light thing came along, and everything skyrocketed again, and it stayed steady since then. So
No,
I've got a very
great.
good income coming out of it. Not enough to risk taking on any permanent employees, but I can splash loads of money out on freelancers as much as I want at the moment,
Okay,
and pay my own
so
wages. So
the
I'm not in any trouble.
let's say when you will be working on the making Kenshi pretty part of the development. I'm not saying that it is ugly. Let's say it looks a little bit unfinished.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So
but
there will be no problem with that. Yeah?
no, it's ongoing at the moment. It's in the background.
Okay.
So if
great.
you keep up on the screenshots page, you see lots of in progress shots of the new character stuff, and new artwork is coming in. It's not in the game yet, but it will be.
Okay. Great. Great. Um, there will be female characters. Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
coming in.
Uh,
I've got a freelance team of artists on the go at the moment. So they've made a new male character, they made a female character, and they're working on all the clothes, armor, gear, that sort of thing.
Will you, let's say, I do not want to say to put women in their places, but will there some difference to a playster with a female character, or with the response of the world to you being female as a player?
Yeah, I think there will be. I mean, it depends on how much time I have to go into detail with these things, but I'd like to have certain factions that discriminate against certain characters based on their race or gender.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not saying the game's not going to be racist, but certain
Yeah.
certain characters or factions in the game may be
Yes.
racist or sexist.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let's say being politically correct restricts one, and that you do not want to place restrictions upon yourself. There can be assholes in your game. No one.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's
so-
going to be a lot of assholes in the game, basically, and
Yeah.
people are going to pick on you, and you're going to hate them, and you're going to want to fight back. That's the purpose of that.
You spoke of races, so right now one can see, I think, human. One can click to tribal, but nothing changes
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
that's
current
just,
version.
that's just
Could
a
you talk a
throwback.
little bit about that?
It's a throwback. So, the tribal part is just a temporary thing that I forgot to take out in the original release,
Uh-huh.
but I intend to add a couple of different races later on, fictional
Mhm.
races, but no
Oh.
elves or dwarves or
Oh.
anything like that.
Will
Something
it
original.
be, let's say, just a visual part of difference, or will be there some gameplay differences also?
Yeah, it will make a difference to the character statistics, way they're treated, faction types. Some factions will be more dominant of one race, have more races in making them up, or may act different to other races, things like that.
Okay, and I just remembered, you've added with this patch, if the video goes after the patch, you have added, if before, you will add to the version the starting, let's say, choices. Could you
Yeah.
tell me something about that?
Well, there's only a couple at the moment, but it's basically you have a choice of where you start. So the default one is you're just a character with a pair of trousers and a rusty sword and a bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to make it a bit more interesting. So at the moment you've got a couple where you've got two characters in a squad that was wiped out and they're both wounded. Another one where you've got a good start off to build a base with, things like that. But I'd like to make it a bit more complicated, further down the line. So maybe you start with an abandoned building, or maybe you wake up naked in a monster's nest and have to get to safety, or maybe you're just start in the desert with no legs.
Oh my
looking
god!
for help or something like that.
No legs as no legs at all, or just injured?
Well, injured, yeah.
Okay.
Both.
Oh, wait. Did you just speak of dismemberment?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'd like to add that to the game if I can, if I have time. It's a bit of a luxury feature, but
a little bit blood and gore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a whole blood update that's gonna come later down the line.
Aha. But will it be survivable? Or will it be just a death animation of someone being hacked to pieces?
Well, it would be survivable. So the idea would be you'd have to research prosthetic limbs, robotics, things like that.
So I could be a one-legged, one-eyed, one-armed, one-eared, and, well, one nose is nothing special, so Jack with a band of,
Yeah. I'd like
cool.
I'd like a bunch of cannibals or creatures and that kidnap your guys and then just say eat one of your legs, and then you have to rescue him before he gets all his limbs eaten.
That is both cool and nasty.
Yeah, I know.
Great. So, I have to admit that I have run out of my questions. Is there something you would like me to ask you?
No, not that I can think of.
Okay, then I'm done. I'm done with my questioning. The Inquisition is content. And I think I would finish with please finish. Visit the homepage of Kenshi, download the demo, support by pre-purchasing, or buy on Gamersgate, or wait for the Steam release. The game is great. I've been playing it for a very, very long time. Even in the early version, there is this moment where you think, yes, this is mine, I have developed these characters, I've spent a lot of time with them, and they just grow on you, and they get characters and voices, and just they become a part of a family. So at least try the game, it's worth it. Chris, would you like to tell our viewers anything else?
No, not really, just hang on
Okay.
and wait for the future updates, because there's a lot planned.
As a small addition and a bonus for those who have watched the video and the interview and have paid attention, so there is a little bonus. Chris has given us 6 keys, so full-on keys for the game. You can enter them now, you can play right now, and you will have the full-on version at the end, so all the updates and all the stuff. Basically what I'm trying to say, the game. So the thing you have to do to acquire these keys is please send in an artwork, a piece of art. It can be very, very well done in let's say in a pencil and then scanned in or photographed. It can be done in Photoshop. It can be a collage. It just all kinds of art. There is no restriction. It is not a moving picture. It's just one picture. And it is Kenshi themed. If you have not played Kenshi and the footage in the background was not enough to inspire you, please download the demo. You will see more than enough of Kenshi to draw something fitting. So, there will be 2 categories. 3 keys will go to people who really know how to draw. You know, those people who know how to draw, how to use Photoshop or Paint or whatever, just being very, very skilled. And the second category, another 3 keys, will go to those who do not know how to draw and have 2 left hands, but want to win a key, have an idea, a joke, maybe a little caricature. It does not have to be artfully executed, but it should be done with heart and effort and be serious. So, 6 keys, 1 week to send the works in. The email you should send the works in will be in the description of the video. So please send in, do draw, try, at least try. Maybe we will like it. Maybe we will like just the idea, even if it's sort of drawn with a mouse on an uneven table. Try. And we will show your pictures and maybe comment on them and be very, very nasty about them in a video afterwards. So a week, send in the picture to the email in the description. And then I'm thanking you for your how do we call it? A talk?
Yeah.
Thanks for talk. Yeah, grammar
Thank you for
Nazis.
talk.
Yep. Thank you very much. And see ya.
All right. Bye.